like you have abundance all around you, most likely. If you've got a roof over your head, if you're connected to the internet, if you've got a phone, if you've got running water, all of these things, then you're connected with abundance, and you do have abundance all around you. And it's really generating more money, and a growth mindset is really all about tapping into that abundance that's in the universe and being able to feel grateful for that. Welcome to Confidently Visible, the podcast that helps you move through visibility blocks, including fear, resistance, and overwhelm, to share life-changing work with the world and grow your business and attract more beautifully aligned clients that rave about your work. I'm your host, Beck Sands, a visibility mentor, a certified life coach, and an award-winning PR consultant based in sunny Newcastle, Australia. Let me guide you on how to show up as your unique self, to share your incredible work, and to grow your audience with more consistency, ease, and flow. Whether you are a consultant, an entrepreneur, a CEO, a coach, or a creative, this is the space to unlock your uniqueness, to grow your audience, and to make a bigger impact, all while feeling good about being seen. The world needs to hear your message. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Confidently Visible podcast. It's so good to be here with you today. It's pretty rainy here in my little home office in Newcastle, Australia. So it's the perfect day to record a few episodes of the podcast, and I'm really, really happy to be here with you today. So today I'm going to be chatting about building a growth mindset to grow and accelerate profit in your business, which is something I have personally been working on massively over the past 6.5 years, certainly since I've been in business. But even before then, I was really working to up-level my money mindset, which is something that I really needed to do, given I didn't grow up wealthy. I didn't grow up in a family with money, very blue collar kind of working class family. And I was the third child of a single mum. And so I have absolutely had to work on, my growth mindset, my money mindset at every stage of my business. And it did feel super scary for me when I left corporate and went out on my own and started my business. I know it feels scary for everyone. And it certainly felt scary for me. I was no exception, because I definitely had that scarcity mindset, and it's something that I have had to work to upgrade at every level. And at every level, I hit, a new kind of barrier to it. And I realized just when I think I've done all the work, oh, there it is again, this kind of scarcity mindset that jumps in and will, rear its little face whenever I come up to a new level. And so what I've found is that, in fact, we often have a kind of income ceiling in our mind as to what we're allowed to earn. And often that is capped at like whatever we made in our job, whatever we made in corporate. And, that can feel like that's all we're allowed to make in our business. In terms of like revenue, particularly if you're like a sole trader, and so your revenue is really your own, and you don't have a lot of overheads as a coach, consultant, creative business. You probably don't have a lot of overheads. And so, this can really feel like it's our money to earn, and our income or revenue can absolutely be capped at what we feel we are allowed to earn. I say allowed in quotation marks, if you're not watching this and just listening, because it's absolutely not true. And we can move beyond this, but it just requires a whole new level of thinking. It requires a different kind of mindset and different beliefs about ourselves and what we are able to earn for ourselves and in our businesses. And so today I want to be sharing a bit about that and how you can start to up-level your growth mindset so that you can attract more profit into your business. And also just some of the things that I do to support myself through that. How cultivating this kind of mindset can help you start to attract more clients. It can help you to raise your rates. It can help you to develop more offerings that will ultimately generate you more money in your business. And it will help you feel more confident in your business and your offers, more secure in diversity of offers. And then also like you're not going to burn out because you're not charging enough. Now, I know that particularly for us in service-based professions that we can feel like there is a bit of a cap in terms of how much we can charge, whether that's per hour in our consulting business or if it's our coaching rates. And I feel like absolutely there is a general kind of market rate that can feel challenging to go beyond, particularly if you're a sole trader and you don't have like a full agency or something like that behind you or a full company behind you, and you're sort of wanting to, increase your rates with your clients, but you also don't want to scare your clients away, or you don't want to feel like you're charging too much, and that's in comparison with other service providers potentially in your industry. And that, you kind of want to make sure that you're still competitive in terms of your rates and the work that you're doing. You can absolutely increase your rates, but there will be a cap in terms of what you can charge hourly or for projects. If you're a consultant, let's say, there absolutely will be a cap, and you will run out of being able to exchange hours for money. And there's a couple of ways that you can scale. So you can absolutely get support in your business so that you have a more junior, potentially person that you could pay a bit less so that you're scaling your income. You can take on more work. You don't have to deliver that work, and you can subcontract that out. And that is a completely normal and usual way to grow a business. And that's a really good way of doing things, particularly if you've got someone that you can really trust and you can find a subcontractor that will do some really great work for you. Perhaps they're entry level or they've just got a couple of years experience and they can really support you with things in your business and to deliver some of the client work so that you can take on more clients. However, once we get to like a certain level in business, it's either really starting to build an agency style model, even if that's with contractors, or it is really saying no to clients. Like there's only kind of two ways that you can do it. And if you want to grow your revenue, then what I feel to be true for me is that I have not wanted to grow an agency model. And so I have wanted to diversify my offers more and more. And so that looks like in my business having the consulting work and having a subcontractor and another consultant support me with delivering some of that work, as well as having other revenue streams in my business. That includes one-on-one coaching clients. That includes having clients through my group program, The Online Consultant. We host speakers training sessions with my husband, Andres Lopez Varela. We also do other little things, like I've got a book that I'm being released, which will generate income. I do get some revenue from speaking as well. So you can see there are diverse ways that I can kind of grow my revenue in my business, and that I like to grow my revenue in my business rather than going all in it and creating like a PR agency consultancy style model, which is not what I have really wanted to do. And it's not what I've felt called to do in my career and in my business, because my main driver in my business is that freedom-based lifestyle. Okay, so you can see how I have started to set up my business to be able to grow the levels of wealth that I would like to grow in my business, but also to generate more revenue, more profit. So I don't have all the overheads and I still can have that kind of freedom-based business, which doesn't tie me to being in an office 9 to 5. And it means I don't have to be managing people all the time. So how did I get to this place, you might ask? I was very much in the corporate mindset previously. So I very much felt like I was used to, having that regular paycheck, and I didn't know what it could look like having my own business and having diverse revenue streams. Everything I'd heard about business sounded hard. Honestly, it sounded like business was going to be really, really challenging, and I was going to go through feast or famine, and it was going to stress me out, and I wasn't going to get any sleep, and it was just going to be harder than, having a job. And yes, perhaps that is true for some people, but I think once you've gotten to a certain level in your career where you're the true expert at what you do, you're a true consultant in the company that you work for, in your field of expertise, you've learned a lot of knowledge. You might have 10, 15, 20, 25 years experience in your industry. It's almost like you're bringing so much to that business, and you can make more money doing things in your own business, right? And it's not just about making money, of course. Like, there's being able to support people. There's being able to work with the people that you want to work with and use your skills and talents to create the things that you want to create in the world and in your business. There's all of these beautiful things as well. But at the end of the day, I know that we do have to make money. And so you either do that in a career where you have a job and you're employed by someone else, or you do that in your own business. And I feel that having your own business is absolutely an incredible path, particularly for people that have a lot of experience in their industries and can turn their professional services into businesses, incredible freedom-based businesses with diverse revenue streams, and help more people using your skills. It's such a great way to earn money. It's such a great way to earn, a living and to do incredible work in the world. So how do we get to that stage where we've got like a mindset that can support creating those things? Because what I've found when I first started in business, and I still had that kind of, salaried mindset where I was kind of just used to having having that salary, and I wasn't used to having to generate revenue in my business and go after that. So it took a real mindset shift, and it really took getting over rejection as well, because absolutely when you're putting your service offering out there, you're going to get some no's and you're going to get some rejection, right? And it's just the way it is. And that's actually a good thing, because it means that you're expanding, you're getting out of your comfort zone, you're trying new things. And so it just requires a different kind of mindset. It requires you to be able to pick yourself back up when you're feeling deflated after a no. It requires you to be able to, stay a little bit level-headed, despite sometimes there's like complete elation. It's like the roller coaster of business. There's there's the highs are high, the lows are low. But the thing is that if you can start to find a way to just be more balanced, and even if like the most amazing thing happens, it's like, awesome, that's great, I want to celebrate that, but equally, great, let's keep going, and when something happens that's not so great, or that you feel a bit rejected by, or you feel like, oh, things aren't working out, that you can also go, okay, that wasn't so great, but let's keep going. And that's what business requires. That's the fundamental to the growth mindset. That's the fundamental element to having the mindset that can keep going in business, and that can keep generating more revenue and more profit, and that can keep growing your income and achieving new heights in business. Is just that fundamental ability to I guess, extricate yourself a little bit and separate yourself a little bit emotionally from the business itself and be able to be level-headed no matter if things are going great and no matter if things are going possibly not so great. So let's dive into a little bit of, the nuts and bolts of how to create this kind of mindset. So I want to just share what a growth mindset is, how it differs from a fixed mindset, how your mindset directly impacts and influences your profit, your pricing, and your client attraction, the subconscious money beliefs that might be keeping you stuck, some practical tools to rewire your mindset for abundance and for business success, and also some real examples from my life about how I have been able to really kind of grow my business by shifting my mindset. So let's dive into this. So firstly, let's look at what a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset is. So a growth mindset is the ability to be able to look at things and go, okay, that may not have been exactly what I wanted in this instance, but I know things are going to turn out okay if I keep going. It's the ability to be able to look at things and think constructively and in a problem-solving way about potential outcomes that could happen versus kind of looking at things and going, oh, that's absolutely not going to be possible for me, or looking at things through the lens of how you've always seen them. If I don't get that regular income, then I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. Or if I don't get a regular income, then how am I going to continue to live my life and to get the things that I need to do? There are 100% other ways to do things. And I think the growth mindset is being able to look around and identify and maybe look at other people that are doing really cool things and how they're doing them. And then being able to, I guess, see how this could be possible for you as well. So that growth mindset is just really looking at what's possible versus the fixed mindset that is just seeing things in a certain way that you've potentially always seen them before and not being able to see other possible solutions and other possible outcomes. So you absolutely want to have a growth mindset because that's going to support you so, so much. And it's something to be worked at every day. It's not a one and done. But the fact that you're listening to this means that you are 100% on the path and you're doing the work. So congratulations and well done to you for doing this work, because it is ongoing work and it does require diligence, because inevitably you'll slip back into that kind of mindset where things will feel challenging and things might feel, scarce. And so if you are kind of doing that, I'm going to share a few different things that you can do in a minute, but that's totally normal because it's probably what you've always done throughout your life, but it can also be changed and you can evolve. You absolutely can do this. So your money mindset would have been, influenced and created in childhood. I had all of the beliefs like money doesn't grow on trees. There's never enough to go around. I remember like a really visible memory from when I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old. And, we only just had enough to make ends meet. And so once my mum at the petrol station put too much into the petrol, or she said to the guy, yep, put a certain amount in, and he put in that amount, but he'd misheard her and he'd put $20 in instead of $5. And she was like, I don't have the money to pay for that. And I just remember that so vividly. It must just be imprinted on my nervous system. Just this kind of memory of that's fear around, but we can't now pay for that. And so those kinds of memories from childhood would absolutely be still creating that nervous system reaction in your body as an adult. And so these are things to work on. These are the things to, absolutely work on with a therapist, but also do the work around like bringing up these memories, writing them down, looking at them and understanding where your money beliefs come from, and then rewriting the script. So, things don't have to be like that. If you look around there, it doesn't need to be, that kind of much scarcity. So I'm going to share a little bit about, some of the most common money blocks for particularly for women, and particularly if you're building a business, I guess. And that is that, I've got to work really hard to earn money. That was a big one for me, that I've got to work hard to earn money, but like hard to burn out. And this is one that I had throughout my whole, career, like ever since I basically was at university. So I put myself through university. I worked in the lead up to university so that I could afford to go to uni, so that I could afford to buy a car. And then in Australia, we've got this thing called HEX. So you can basically get a government loan, which took me 10 years to pay off, but it is paid off. But these things kind of come up. So I went to uni and I worked really hard, and I had this really deep sort of belief that I had to work to burn out, and it's held me in good stead. Like, it has supported me to, be really committed and to absolutely work hard. But I was basically working full-time hours just in multiple little jobs, and then also full-time uni throughout my whole degree. And then also when I started, I always worked hard. Then I went into agency world in PR, and then I would work really long hours. And then when I went into corporate, I still, and then I was building a business on the side. So you can see this pattern throughout my life of that I have to work hard to burn out to deserve money. And this is one that really comes up for women in business, particularly time and time again. It's not true. Yes, absolutely, you do have to put in the hard work, and particularly at the start, and it might feel uncomfortable and like you've got to work all the hours. And yes, you do have to put in that hard work, particularly when you're starting out, particularly when you're growing something, particularly when you're building something, but it's not sustainable long term. And it's certainly not going to get you to those really high levels of revenue. What's going to get you there is mastering your craft and really doing less. Really, it's mastering your craft and doing less, being able to provide so much value through the work that you do that you can earn more money, and then also being able to create more passive, I say passive in quotation marks because nothing's really passive, is it? There's always some work to be done, but as in not exchanging hours for money, activity in your business. So things like doing online courses, like my course, The Online Consultant, where, I've created the content, and then that can help to, I can sell that again and again. So creating that kind of IP and creating your own products that can, and also the book that can mean that you're not always constantly exchanging hours for money unless you want to. And that in that way, you can grow beyond the revenue ceiling that you've potentially had in your mind. Okay, so those are some of the most common beliefs and some of the mindset reframes that can support you to create more profit in your business and to make more money in your business, which of course we all want to do so we can do more good things in the world. It's being able to replace scarcity thoughts with expansive beliefs. And this sounds really it's really simple, but actually often what it involves is quite a bit of healing work to be done. And that can usually, it's best done with a therapist. But it's also up to you. It's up to you to do the journaling. It's up to you to do the reflection. It's up to you to read up on this stuff. There's some really great books by Dr. Nicole LaPera. I think I've got one here, but Dr. Nicole, How to Meet Yourself. I'll just show you it. Anyway, if you're watching the the YouTube video, you can see, so How to Meet Yourself by Dr. Nicole LePera. But there's so many different cool like resources that are low cost or free. Like you can even just follow her on Instagram. Just look for Dr. Nicole LePera. And, you know, that can kind of help you with this, to start this self-exploration of some of the things that you can do to look at some of that trauma, essentially, that we all have from childhood. Like we've all got it, even just from society, like collective societal traumas, even things that are happening right now can tip us back into that scarcity. But when we look at things, when we look at the world, there's so much abundance all around us. And I heard this once, and I really can't remember who said it, but I wish I could so that I could shout them out. But I did hear this, that, you know, when you go into scarcity mode, one of the best things that you can do is really to look around and go, oh my God, look at how many leaves are on that tree. Look at how much water is in the ocean. Like, look at how many waves, like look at that never ending expanse of ocean. Look at how many petals are on those flowers. Look at how many blades of grass there are in nature. Like everything in nature is just so abundant, right? And even if you look around at yourself and your life, like you have abundance all around you, most likely. If you've got a roof over your head, if you're connected to the internet, if you've got a phone, if you've got running water, you know, all of these things, then you're connected with abundance, and you do have abundance all around you. And it's really generating more money, and a growth mindset is really all about tapping into that abundance that's in the universe and being able to feel grateful for that, and being able to just tap into that energetic alignment with abundance. So being like, oh my gosh, there is so much around. Even like if you've got like 10 cents in your bank account, it's like, how amazing, I've got 10 cents, I can build on that. This is what having a growth mindset is all about. It's about being able to tap into the abundance that's all around you and looking at ways then to generate more abundance, both for yourself and for your clients. And when you can really tap into that, that's when massive, massive growth can happen. Now, like I said, you're going to probably slip into the kind of scarcity mindset. Pretty much, you might even slip into it every day. You might slip into it every 5 minutes when you're starting out with this kind of thinking. And when you do, you can simply just say, thank you for the thought. Thank you for trying to keep me safe, brain. However, I choose to look at the positive. I choose to look at growth. I choose to look at abundance. So you can say any one of those things. You can also just say something like stop when your brain kind of starts to have these spiraling thoughts about, things like, oh, maybe I'll never be able to earn more money than this. Maybe I don't deserve to earn more money than this. Will I continue to earn money beyond this one project? Like sometimes if you do, get a lucrative project or you land some clients, then the fear can immediately come back up and say, oh, but that's not what's going to happen in future, and this is where it can be so insidious, this kind of fear-based scarcity mindset, that even when you do have abundance, even if you have $1 million in the bank, you could still be sitting there going, but what if I lose it all? And this is where we've got to catch ourselves, because if you're not feeling grateful where you're at right now, then you probably won't feel safe and grateful and secure at any level. Okay, so you want to start to cultivate that feeling where you're at right now, and that is going to support you throughout your business growth at every single level. If you can cultivate that now, wherever you're at, whether you're still, you haven't even started your business yet, or if you're in your business or wherever you're at, if you can start to cultivate that growth mindset now, that will absolutely support you through every stage of business. Okay, so some of the daily rituals that you can do, in addition just to reframing those thoughts and in addition to having that kind of stop mentality when those thoughts come up and just stopping them in their tracks when those scarcity thoughts come up, there's some rituals that you can do. And all of this works in tandem. There's not just one thing that works. It's everything works together. And day to day, you might need different things. You might need something new to help kind of put you back into that mindset of growth and abundance. So have a think about what you need. But some of the things on a day-to-day basis that work for me is having daily rituals. So things like journaling. So journaling, what's coming up for me today? How do I feel today? And then just free write and see what comes up. You know, maybe there's a fear around delivering specific client work. Maybe there's a fear around starting your business at all. Maybe there's a fear around how you're going to be perceived in your content and your visibility. There's so many different things that come up. How are you feeling today? And there's also like so many factors that can impact it, like how well you slept, what you've eaten in the last few days, what else is going on in your relationships and in your life and in your health and all of this kind of thing. So yeah, just tuning in. This is a really good thing to do anyway, regardless. No matter who you are, it's a really beautiful thing to do is just take a couple of minutes and write down every morning or every evening or both how you're feeling and what's coming up for you. Because when it's in our heads, often it's just a mass of like swirling thoughts and it's really hard to sift through them. So when you write them down, it's like kind of plucking them out and being able to see tangibly what it is that's actually coming up and then what we can do to move through it effectively or move forward as well. So journaling, there's things like EFT, that is emotional freedom technique, and you can just Google that. Tapping, which can like help to shift and clear energy. And I definitely do that. Particularly, I find if I'm having technology issues, it's always like an up leveling that I'm going through and there's a block coming up. And so I need to do some tapping around that. And also visualization. So can you visualize yourself having the business that you want, having the freedom that you want, having the impact that you want, working with the beautiful clients that you want? So use visualization as a tool because that's one of the most powerful things that you can do. Have like expanders and growth triggers. So this is like mentors. So having, a coach or joining a mastermind or having an accountability group or something like that can help you to see what's possible for yourself and be in that mindset of expansion. And if you're not ready to invest in that kind of thing yet, perhaps you haven't even started your business yet and you're listening to this and you're like, I'm thinking about starting my business, but I'm not quite there yet. And that's totally fine. So listen to people's podcasts, download their freebies, sign up to email lists of people you admire, and people that have done things that you admire before you even start. There's so many free resources out there. Read their books, listen to the podcast, all of that stuff. And then when you're ready, then you can take the next step and sign up to their program and work with these people to help you to elevate to the next level of growth as well. Environment design as well as another big one. So make sure that you're not surrounding yourself with negative Nellies all the time. And negative Nellies, I just say people that potentially have a really capped or scarce mindset. You want to be surrounding yourself with people that are doing some cool things as well. And if you can't do that in person, because I know it's not always possible, like I said, just listen to the podcast, read the books. That's what I did before I was able to, have the funds to be able to join masterminds and join courses and have a coach and all of that kind of thing. I absolutely just listened to the free resources and read the books and all of that kind of stuff. So that is the next step for you. So, the last thing I wanted to share is why your mindset and your visibility will also go hand in hand. And your visibility is absolutely key to increasing your revenue. And that's because you need to be visible in front of your ideal clients, they need to know about you before they can work with you and hire you. And so if you're not visible in front of your ideal clients, then there's definitely a mindset issue that's coming up there. And there's many different ways to be visible. You know, I've got a PR background. I absolutely have, I like myself, and I've supported my clients to do speaking events, to have podcasts, to achieve a lot of media coverage. There's so many different ways to be more visible in front of your ideal clients. But if you're not doing it, then there's 100% a mindset block that's coming up for you. And so again, just start to journal that and look at what that is for you and how you can start to move through that and overcome that. All right. So your action step right after this podcast is to choose one visibility block, we all have them, or limiting belief around growth, and to reframe it today. So I want you to just take out your journal and just write down one belief that you might have around your visibility or your money mindset, or, it could be something to do with, I have to work hard to burn out in order to make money. It could be something like that. Or it could be something to do with your visibility, like people don't care what I have to say, or, I can't create relevant content, or I don't have time to do any of this, or something like that. Like, what's that belief that's coming up for you? And then I want you to reframe it into something far more constructive. So something like, my work is valuable in the world. My work is valuable in the world. Or it could be like, my income is constantly increasing. It could be, the work that I do supports millions, and that might not feel true to you right now. So say, write down something that can still feel true. It's a little bit of a stretch perhaps right now, but this is how we create the life that we want. This is the work. This is the daily work to create the growth mindset and to create the thriving business. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you loved this episode, I would be so grateful if you would leave a review and share this with anyone who might want to hear it. And have the best day. I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to Confidently Visible. I hope today's conversation inspired you to show up boldly, to share your unique gifts with courage, and to move through the visibility blocks that are holding you back. If you loved this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast, leave a rating and a review, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. And if you're ready to become confidently visible in your business, head over to becksands.com to join my email list and to connect on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. Until next time, keep showing up as the amazing, unique you that the world needs.